Sorry about that. Just wasn't our day.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Hamilton, Bottas and Sebastian Vettel. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mercedes. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Weber, Sergio Perez and Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc, Red and Lance Stroll, Gasly, Butler, George Russell and Albon, Norris, Magnussen, Robert Kubica and Kimi Raikkonen. Fiat and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 35.9. This lap, please. Okay, our tyres are going to hit the cliff pretty soon. It may be prudent to do something about that before we completely destroy them. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track. We're catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race. is in the pits. George in the pits. Tenths. Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
So Alfa Romeo have won it, and what a great race it was. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
So here they come now, out onto the podium. It's thrilling to see this team go toe-to-toe with the best teams in the sport and come out on top. What a superb victory from the Alfa Romeo team. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Devon Butler takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
For me, it's Kimi Räikkönen, someone who definitely doesn't get enough attention for how well he performs out on the track.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap. Nice job.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three: Butler, Raikkonen and Max Verstappen. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for a warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Devon Butler will lead us away from pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Red, Valtteri Bottas, and Faber, Gasly, Stroll, Kubica, and George Russell. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Vettel, Hamilton, Sergio Perez, and Sainz, Norris, Kvyat, Kevin Magnussen, and Charles Leclerc. Albon and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care. teammate behind is 6.2 seconds. Box now, please. Box this lap. Release. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track. Okay, clear. P3, you are currently in P3. Vettel is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 3.9 seconds. They're on old mediums. Raikkonen behind. Okay, gap to leader, 9.4 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Their tyres are 11 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:42.3. Butler ahead, they're on old hards. Their tyres are 11 laps old. They have some kind of mechanical problem. The time last lap was a 1:40 on old hards. Their tyres are 12 laps old. They have some kind of mechanical problem. The time last lap was a 1:43.7. Our ahead is 4.2 seconds. They're speeding up again, so I expect they fixed whatever the problem was. Okay, we can take you this lap. Safety car is in this lap, safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags. We have 2 laps of fuel remaining. Green flag. We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon. Leading our teammate by 17.8 seconds. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Alfa Romeo. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Taking care of the car was absolutely vital today. It's been obvious all weekend that the pace was there, but look at the attrition rate we've had. They would have been very concerned about any minor anomaly towards the latter stages of this Grand Prix.
Looks like they're on their way out to the podium now, and what a result this is! And a popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Alfa Romeo team on top here today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, my driver of the day has to be Charles Leclerc. He was unstoppable out on the track today, weaving through the competition with ease.
Let's move on to the constructors. Alfa Romeo push past their rivals and take over the championship lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. It was more like dodgems than Formula One today, wasn't it? Is not being able to finish a race like Lucas did today a hard thing for a driver to deal with? How does it feel to see your old rival from F2 move to the top of the table in the Formula One Championship? Great! Well, that's everything.